I'm Stephen Hann from Archery Supplies. I'm here today to look at the Martin Stealth longbow. Now, quick thing about this bow, it's priced around the 800 Australian dollars, $800 to $900 Australian. Martin Archery have been in business for years, 1930s or something, and I'll put down the bottom of the video when they started. Now, the traditional side of Martin Archery is different to the compound side. It's a different factory. It wasn't affected by the Martin fire of 2015, where the factory was basically wiped out because it's in a separate location. And these bows are made by hand. They're made by a bunch of people in a factory, polishing, sanding these bows by hand. And what I want to show up close is the craftsmanship. This is on the outside. I'm going to turn it around slowly. It's a beautiful bit of craftsmanship. We've been dealing with Martin for years. This is on the back side. Since I was little, and I'm going to say I'm 45, 46. We've been dealing with Martin for 30, 35 years. A lot of the staff are still the same, so the same people have been making these bows for years, and they're made in the same way. In 2015, Martin did have problems with the fire, wiping out their factory. They lost a lot of their spare parts. They lost their machines with the fire. That's not the case with the recurves. The recurves continue production, the longbows continue production, and they produce a really fine quality bit of work. Now we're going to shoot this bow, but before I do that, this bow is priced around the $900, $800 mark. It comes in two models. This is the Savannah, and I really like this bow. It's one of my favorite longbows. And this is the Savannah Stealth. The Savannah Stealth, for some reason, is more expensive. In fact, I like the other one better, but that's just personal preference. It's a reflex-deflex design, which means the bow is not curved. It actually curves this way, and then it curves back this way. Now, it's still a longbow because the string is not touching the limb, as it would with a recurve. So originally when I looked at these bows, people said, oh no, this is actually classed as a recurve for tournament archery, and it is not. If you look at the rules, it actually says the string cannot be touching the limb up in this section here, even though the design of the bow when it's unstrung looks like a recurve. So we're going to unstring this, but first off we're going to compare this bow, which is around an $800, $900 bow, to the cheaper longbows you can buy, which are really popular. So this is a Cartel Deluxe Viper, which is, I'm going to say, one of the most popular longbows made. Now I'm just going to zoom up. Now it's not bad. Price point on this bow is around the $300 odd mark. You can see things like this here, the laminations. If you've ever made a longbow, there is heaps and heaps of work in this thing, and the materials alone are basically probably towards $200 odd, and then you've got hours and hours of work to craft it and sand it. So when this bow is selling for $300, I think it's good value. However, you can see the shape of the bow. It's basically straight. Limb tips, I'm just going to zoom in at. However, it is not a Martin Stealth. Now I'll just jump back to the Stealth. The limb tips on the Stealth are just absolutely sensational. They're nice and crisp and clean. Just the craftsmanship, a lot more time goes into this. They use a lot better materials, a lot better fiberglass, a lot better woods. So, your woods for this bow are not $200 odd. The woods for this bow are a lot more, and there's a lot more time gone into this to craft it. And I think you're going to see a difference when this bow is shot. And I'm going to shoot this bow in a second. But up from that, you go, okay, I don't want to spend $300. I want to go up in the price point. What do I get? Now, this is a popular bow from Bear. It's called the Bear Montana longbow. It's quite narrow here, so it reduces the vibration when you shoot it and shock. It's a nice bow, handcrafted in America, in a similar process as the Stealth. So it's made in America as opposed to China and Korea. The limb tips are very, very fine. It doesn't have the deflex design of a Stealth. It's more of a straight, flat longbow, so it won't have the performance and the smoothness of the Stealth. So now the Montana longbow is about a $600 bow. So for about $200 more, you are getting the exotic woods, you're getting the better fiberglass, you're getting the nicer shapes and the, you know, more of the shaping which they do here, which I think looks cool. And you know, it's just a pretty bow overall. So first thing with longbows and recurves, I'm going to say 95% of warranty work I do on longbows and recurves is through people stringing them around their legs. Never string a longbow around your legs. Even if your mate does it, your coach at the club does it, and everyone does it, don't do it, because you're going to bust your bow. And it might not be the first time, it may not be the 10th time, but it will happen. And that's not covered by warranty, okay? The other major problem is this is wood. Okay, this wood, it's laminated, it's put under pressure, it's glued, and then it holds its shape. If you leave this in a hot car on a hot day, or you put it outside in the sun, it's probably likely going to pop. Now, it may not, but I reckon most of my warranties I get on longbows and recurves are in hot climates. I sold a brand new bow to a guy. He put it in the back shelf of his car. It was 40 degrees, which is, you know, really, really hot if you're in America. Bow, 2 hours later, under a half an hour, it comes back and the bow snapped. And, you know, it's popped. The back shelf of his car, which is all glass, he's put it under there on the hottest day, bow's popped. You know, just, it's wood, it's under tension. Don't leave it in a hot car. Don't leave it under temperature. So we're going to have a shot with this. Now, first thing, when you unstring a bow, use a bow stringer. They come in various shapes and sizes, and I'm going to unstring this bow. Yeah, they come in various shapes and sizes, so just pick one. They theoretically should all work, and not as. And I picked this one. This one probably doesn't work, but let's just try it again. And the reason it doesn't work is the limb tip here is a little bit, it's like pushing itself off. You can just see. So I'm going to get another bow stringer and I'll get back. You can just see it's working its way off. So I'll go and get another bow stringer and we'll try it in a sec. Okay, so I've got a new bow stringer. This is a tip to limb stringer. This one's from Cartel. Infotech bow stringer. It's a copy of the Saunders. The Saunders one's probably $20 odd Australian. This one's about 12, I'm guessing. So you put one end in, you put one end in there, like so, nice and simple. The other end goes over the limb. I'm going to zoom the camera down. Now we stand on the string. And we pull up, and the string easily comes down. Now the shape of this bow, unstrung, you see it's got a nice curve in the limb. Now like I said, when I first saw this bow, people would say, oh, this is a recurve, but it's not, because the string does not touch the limb, okay? So it's able to be shot in tournaments, and if you're shooting against a guy who's got a flat longbow, it's like, and you shoot the same, you're probably going to win with this one, because it's going to shoot quicker, it's going to be smoother. So that's the shape. So it's going to shoot, it's going to be smoother to draw, it's going to be smoother to shoot, and it's going to be a bit quicker than the flat bow. So I'm going to string this and we're just going to have a couple of shots. Now I'm no longbow expert, I don't pretend to be, I don't shoot it much, I shoot mainly compound, but we're going to have a shot and see how this feels. I'm just going to string this up. Now when you string a longbow, always check it, don't check it from the front, always check it on the back. So you want to check to make sure those two grooves are in the slot, check the bottom, take the cup off, check to make sure they're in the slot, which they are. So we're going to have a shot with this and sort of see how it feels. Now this bow is my son's bow, so we obviously own an archery shop and we sell lots and lots of longbows. This is the one he thought was the best longbow in the store. So take from that what you will, and there'll be other, I sell lots and lots of longbows and people will be like, oh no, ours is better, and this was my son's opinion and he chose this, not mine. I'll shoot the other ones and we'll compare them, but this one's on the stealth and it is a nice bow to shoot, so let's have a shot. So I'm here, so we're going, now first thing, these arrows, to me part of shooting longbow is about the whole tradition, no sights, bit of fun, the traditional aspect of archery, you've got to pull it back, the strength aspect of it. Now this is a traditional arrow. It's been made by a guy in Canberra called Marshall. Does a fantastic job, like hours and hours of work in this thing, and he made these for my son when my son was little, and we've still got them today, so they're probably 10 years old. And you can buy arrows like this from Rose City. They make custom arrows. They come in various types. Elite would look something like this with the cresting and the double system there, where it's double dipped, so one dipped one color and dipped the other color. So I'm just going to draw this bow back. So I'm pulling back. Now this bow is a 45-pound bow. Now with a rig, I shoot about a 60-pound compound. I should be able to draw 45. So I draw back, draw back, draw back, draw back. Now it's starting to get really heavy back here. Now I wouldn't say it's stacking. The cheaper bows will stack. So what that means is it's pretty light at the start and then all of a sudden it gets super heavy. This is pretty smooth right the way through the draw process. So it's heavy, 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 heavy. I can draw it back here and I don't really notice it really building up. I mean, it's definitely building up. Like it builds up maybe 4 pounds per inch, but it's quite comfortable. It's nice. So the major thing in this is it doesn't stack. It's as good as any bow I've drawn. There's the Predator longbow I'd want to compare it to, because the Predator longbow is awesome, a fantastic little longbow. And so the next question is, what's the shock of this bow? So let's just shoot it. Felt pretty good. I'll just have another shot. There was no vibration in my hand. I thought it was quiet, so let's just have another shot. A little bit of string noise, which string silencers would remove. That was the arrow hitting the arrow. To me, I whack my arm. That's my technique. I tend to shoot when I shoot longbow, I tend to shoot an arm guard because I find the string comes in and whacks me because it's coming through more. But this is a really, really nice bow to shoot. And if you're going to shoot longbow, and I'm going to shoot longbow for comp, believe it or not, this is a bow. It's got to be on the top of your shopping list. The Predator low bow is awesome. Bear produced a nice bow, similar price as this, called the Osable, named after a lake. But this is an awesome product. The finish is just superb. Looks great on the wall. And to me, like I shoot a recurve bear bow. It's not as fast as the Predator recurve because it doesn't have the tension on the string. But overall, this is a nice, comfortable bow to shoot. You're not competing against recurve shooters to start with when you shoot this bow. You're shooting against longbow shooters. And this is going to be one of the best longbows. And that was me hitting there again. That was, this is going to be one of the best longbows you can buy. So this is the Martin Stealth, and it comes in the Savannah Stealth. Sorry, this is the Martin's Stealth. It also comes in the, let's try again. This is the Martin Savannah. It also comes in the stealth mode, which is the wood inlay. I like just the Martin Savannah just the way it is. I think it's a beautiful product. Martin is a good company. It really is. Unfortunately, they did hit a fire in 2015, which really affected the company. But their wooden bows, their traditional bows that are made, was unaffected by the fire. So they still produce them. The The wait time on these bows, if they're not in the factory ready to ship, and a lot of them are, then you're probably talking a delay of, I'm going to say 3 weeks. So if you're in Australia, it's going to take you about 4 weeks to land your hand on one of these, which is a lot better than most companies. Most of these companies who make the $1,000 longbows, you've got to wait, quite a while, 6 months to land one. The Martins are a lot quicker, and I think it's just a superb product. Now, as far as people look at the Martin product, this is not like a Martin Jaguar. This is a top of the line bow. All the best stuff in here, and that's why it's $1,000. You're not comparing it to a $200 product or a $100 set of limbs which come from Italy. This is top notch. I've been selling Martin literally forever, and I've never had a stealth Savannah returned ever. And their top line stuff's pretty good too. So that's the Martin Savannah. Check it out. Great product, and if you're into longbow shooting and you want to shoot traditional, it'd be on the top of my shopping list to look at. So I'm Stephen Hann from Archery Supplies. Enjoy your shooting. Thank you. Bye.